Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We start again. If you can hear me, you just put a confirmation in the box so we can start the class. I was waiting for the students to attend the class because when I came back, they were only 8 in the class. So I waited just a little bit for other students to come, and also I answered Ali. I think it was Ali who talked about that. Lectures in the Ramadan. It's a bit difficult, Ali, to talk while we are fasting, because we cannot have tea, we cannot have coffee, no water, and then we start talking continuously. It's very difficult. But for the class, for sure, university will arrange something for you to help you maybe attend the class once in a while. Something that we can do, you just listen to me, and then you can write to the university just on behalf of yourself, not from me. You see, I have class from 2 to 4, okay, and then 4 to 6, and then 6 to 8, okay. Half of it is with Iranian students, and half of it is with you, okay. Something that you can just ask university to for you to do is that they make it once in 2 weeks, okay. They make your class once 2 weeks. It means that 2 to 4, and then 4 to 6, and then 6 to 8, okay. 1 week you, 1 week Iranian. For sure, for me, that it's no difference, because every week I should come to the university and teach. But for you, is that 1 week you come, you have 3 sessions, and then 1 week you don't come and you won't have class. This is something that I just it came out from top of my mind, that maybe helps you to come to the university, less than something that you're supposed to do. You got it? Ali, was it okay? Did you understand what I said? Yes, exactly, Ali. You can write to university. Yes, exactly. You can write to university that make it once in 2 weeks your class. So you don't need to come to the class every week. 1 week you come for the class, okay, and then you will have 2 classes in 1 month, each month, and we only have 2 months left. So each month means you have 2 classes, okay, and maybe you need 3 or 4 times. 4 times you come, the semester ends, okay. 4 times you come, the 4 or 3 times you come, the semester ends after Ramadan. This is something that maybe you ask university and they accept. But I cannot help you more about the issue. It's better we go back to the lectures because we have ID. In 1 or 2 weeks. Why don't we take sessions, all of it, in 1 or 2 weeks? That's also possible for me. You see, as I told you, it is up to university, not me. I cannot arrange that. But for me, that also is possible, okay. That, for example, 1 month you come, okay, one month you come 4 times, and then it ends. It's possible, but it's up to university. If you talk to university and they say, okay, it's okay for me, they will arrange the Iranians class as well. Okay, they will arrange, because they should do that. They arrange the Iranian classes and your classes, and it will be over, something like this. It's better that one of you writes to the university, write a letter to the university and request for this. It's, for me, it's okay. Okay, and also there is also Seshanbe. Okay, I'm also free on Seshanbe. One week not possible, 2 weeks maybe. Yes, Hossein, exam is in the university and it's not online. It's a you should come to the university and take the exam. So you see, also I was saying Seshanbe also. Seshanbe also I don't have class. So it can be, for example, Yekshanbe and Seshanbe. It can be like this: 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and then 6 to 8 in 2 weeks, and then finish. I can attend 4 lectures. I will only attend 2. Can I do that? It's up to you, but something I'm telling you is that up to you. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. For me, it's not important, and also attending the class is not important. As far as you can keep yourself up with the class, it's okay with me. Okay, something like that. But it's up to you. If you wanted to do that, you should talk to مدیر گروه و دانشگاه. Okay, it's important, not me. Okay, because I cannot decide on that. Okay, I have no words in that. You should talk to them. They ask me, and I will say okay. Okay, this is. So let's start with the firewall. Firewall is very important in the lectures and also for Emtahan. It's very important. It's good for the exam and for questions in the exam. We will have one question for sure. We will have one question regarding the firewall. Something that firewall does is that firewall does something, acts as router. Firewall works or acts as the router, and it filters the traffic passing through based on some rules. It restricts the flow from inside to the outside, and also it restricts the flow from outside to the inside. So whenever you write the rules for firewall, they should be فئتين. Okay, امتحان حضوریه، امتحان حضوری است حتما. Okay, but again you should talk to it, you should talk to university about it. You should talk to university and مدیر گروه about it. Okay, anyhow, just listen. For that one, you can talk to the university, and Ali can email me back and forth so we can see what we can do. So, for firewalls, we have فئتين, okay, 2 categories of rules. Now, the first rule is from inside to outside. The second category of rule is out to in. For each point of the network that we want to separate 2 zones, two zones, we need one firewall, and for one firewall we need two categories of rules of inside to outside and rules for outside to inside. So the firewall is used to enforce security policies and also enforce network segmentation or partitioning that we already discussed in the previous session. And something which is important, firewall cannot do anything. It cannot do anything regarding the whatever happens inside the network, okay? Because something that we do, let me go to the board. You see something that we do is that we divide the network into, for example, different zones. I just draw two zones because I already need two zones. And then we put the firewall back here. Okay, this is the where we put the firewall back here. Okay, for example, this is firewall. Okay, and then something that it does, it filters the packets from on-site to inside, and it also filters the packet from inside to the outside. But whatever happens, if this is inside, this is dakhil. Okay, and this is kharij, and this is firewall. Whatever happens inside the network, for example, attacks from when some attacks come from inside, the firewall cannot do anything. Okay, it cannot do anything. So I'll go back to the slide. So this is the firewall. You can think of firewall, or you can look at the firewall as multi-level defense. We discussed it in the previous class. In the previous class that we just finished. Okay, it's multi-layer defense. It means that the most important thing, like king and queen, you put it inside in the middle, and then you put the I don't know, soldiers and merchants and the other people, less important people inside this area, and then peasants or the those who have ships, and then they just do the plantation and whatever it is, do the agriculture. They live here. Okay, this is like multi-layers. We already discussed before. Multi-layer protection, it protects our resources, and also between them we can either use firewall, air gap, NAT, proxy, and so on and so forth. Now we talk about the firewall. Firewall has some rules, and rules usually contains criteria and then action to take, and what is the policy if the criteria does not meet. So criteria includes source and destination address and port, protocol, physical interface, and whatever it is. And then sometimes we can also look into the packets or data from application layer points, but most of the cases it's not the, something that in firewall we take a look at. Okay, we don't consider the application layer or application level information. And when we want to do something, it's either we allow the traffic to pass, or we drop the traffic, or we reject the traffic. Allow is obvious. Okay, you allow the traffic to pass, but what is the difference between drop and reject? It can be again important in the exam. So the difference between drop and reject, and what is the policy if the criteria does not meet. Okay, this is something that we do with the firewall. So there are some rules, maybe the source and the destination, they can be computers or nodes, or they can be networks. Okay, source and destination, and then what is the protocol? Here is the protocol, and what is the port, and then you decide what to do with that traffic. But before I start talking about the firewalls and firewall rules, it's first I should talk about drop and reject. What is the difference between drop and reject? And the second thing I should talk about is just as a reminder, I talk about the protocols and also the ports of the computer. So first I go and talk about the drop and reject. You see, when something comes from the internet toward your network, okay, for example, when something comes from the internet toward your network, and you have firewall here, okay, and it comes, for example, from one computer on the internet, one computer on the internet. Okay, when something comes from one computer on the internet, when you drop the packet, okay, and when you do not allow, okay, when you drop the packet and then you inform the person or computer, inform that we dropped your packet. When we inform them, it becomes reject. Okay, when we drop the packet and when we don't inform them, it is drop. So actually you see, reject the packet is same as the drop. Okay, the action is same. Reject is drop itself. So we drop the packet, we inform them, we call it reject, and when we don't inform them, we call it drop. Okay, if it's obvious, I'll go to the next concept. Okay. I'll just repeat the difference. Drop is drop without informing the sender. Reject is drop with informing the sender. في الاختلاف في إبلاغ المرسل. اوكي، في إبلاغ المرسل. اوكي، مرسل. Okay, something like that. So when you inform, it is reject. When you do not inform, it is drop. So okay, the next thing which is very important for us to know, if for 1 second the internet went away, that's why there was no sound. It was because of the internet problem. Okay, for example, consider that you have one computer. Now I want to talk about sorry. Okay, now we want to talk about in TCP/IP. We want to talk about IP ports and then protocol. What does these three concepts means? Ta'arif. Okay, when you have one computer, you work with different, or you communicate with different computers on the internet. Okay, and also you use different applications. For example, maybe you use WhatsApp and you use Telegram, or maybe you use Chrome tab 1, or you use Chrome tab 2, or maybe you have Firefox, or maybe you have, for example, Windows update going on. Okay, these are the applications that on your computer works with the internet. On your computer there is a architecture for working with the network. The architecture is like this. It's the physical network or physical access. Okay, there is a physical access, and this is IP layer, and this is either TCP or UDP, and here is application layer. So on your computer you have these layers when you work with the internet in your computer. So whatever happens in the application layer, for example, something that comes from the Telegram, it's in application layer. It goes to the TCP UDP, it goes to IP, the packets will be inserted in the physical layer. It will go the whole route around the internet. For example, I should draw it like a cloud. Okay, it's internet. Okay, and then we'll go to one of these computers. Again, when you receive the reply, it will go to the, you will receive it on the interface physical layer. It will go to IP layer, it will go to TCP UDP layer, and it will come back exactly to the same application. Okay, so from where we know which application is that when we work with the application on the systems, we assign port number to each of the application. The port number is I will type it in the note for you to have it. So the port number is an integer number. Okay, the port number is an integer number. Okay, it is 2 bytes, or its length is 2 bytes, so it can be 0 to 65,000. For example, you can assign port number 50552 WhatsApp, you can assign 16432. Telegram, you can assign 1232. Chrome, and it can be 60,000, for example. It's the Chrome, or you can assign 5642 Firefox, or you can assign 333, for example, or 3333 to Windows Update. Okay, so the assignment of ports is responsibility of transport or TCP UDP. Layer. Okay. The assignment of ports is responsibility of transport layer, and it is random. What is random in Arabic? Random is ashwa'i. Okay, it's, yes, thank you very much, it's ashwa'i. Okay, it's random, but there are some pre-assigned and reserved numbers for some known services. Okay, there are some pre-assigned and reserved numbers or reserved port numbers for some known services. Reserve in al-ihtiyati, okay, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, reserve is al-ihtiyati. Okay, pre-reserved for some of the services is al-ihtiyati. Okay, it already been reserved. For example, for one of them, it's the number 80. Number 80 is usually used for, anyone knows what is 84? It is used for web or HTTP. Okay, or for example, number 43. Okay, it is used for DNS. Okay, this is one thing, this is one concept that which is very important. And the another concept is that always, this is very important. Okay, just listen. Always the client or requester port is random and the server service port is predefined. Okay, this is very important. So the client port is random. Manfazul amil. Okay, manfazul amil is ashwa'i. Okay, the server port is pre-assigned. Okay, manfazul khadim muhaddad musabbaqan. Okay, something this. منفذ الخادم محدد مسبقا. Okay, this is very important. Okay, when we want to write the rules. Another thing is that each application uses its own protocol from lower layer. Okay, so each application use its own protocol from lower layer. يستخدم كل تطبيق البروتوكول خاص من طبقة السفلى. It's something like this. Okay, you just read يستخدم كل تطبيق البروتوكول الخاص من طبقة السفلى. Okay, so for example, again here, if I use the same thing, I go to the application and then just bring it up because it's the application, then bring the physical layer down. Then the IP address and the TCP. Okay, something like that. So each layer decides which protocol it uses. So you see something that happens, for example, when you open the Chrome, and it's definitely client, okay, and it wants to use, for example, protocol is application layer protocol is HTTP for Chrome. Okay, so it's for HTTP for Chrome, and HTTP uses TCP. Okay, HTTP uses TCP. Then TCP will go to the IP will go to the MAC. For example, when you use Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi MAC, or when you use Ethernet is Ethernet MAC, and then it goes to the internet, it goes to the server, and then the result will go and come back here. So what is the source of this packet? What do you see as a source of this packet? For example, it's from, you see in application layer is application data plus HTTP. Oh, sorry, it's not HTTP. So it's application data plus HTTP. Now it will be inserted in another packet. It's TCP 123. Okay, this is the port number and the protocol of the lower layer. Okay, and then it will go to the IP. For example, it's IP, and for example the IP address for this system is 198.168.192, sorry, and then I can even use 19, it's not important. 190.168.0 and 10. Okay, this is the IP address, and then it will be inside a bigger header. This is MAC header. This is, for example, Wi-Fi, which is IEEE 802.11, which is, yes, exactly physical. For example, we use Wi-Fi, it is, and this is physical or media address. Okay, it's physical or media address is like something like that, 1E and then 04 A5653A and then something like that. Okay, this is the physical address, which is something like this. So this is something that happens when you send one information. You want to let me fix this one, bring everything inside. Okay. When you want to send one information from one computer to another computer, this is the path. From application layer it will go to TCP layer, from TCP layer it will go to IP layer, and from IP layer it will go to physical layer. In application layer it will distinguish the protocol, or it will assign the protocol. For example, they use HTTP, or it's Adobe, or it's WhatsApp, it's Firefox, or whatever it is. Okay, when it goes to the TCP layer, it uses either TCP or UDP protocol, and it assigns a port which is HY. Okay, it's random for the clients, it's HY. And then it goes to the IP layer. It uses, for example, 190.168.0.10. This is the source IP address. And then when it goes down to the physical layer here, it's 55, or for example IEEE 802.11 physical address and something like that. Usually in firewalls, okay, we have nothing to do with this one. Okay, usually in firewalls we have nothing to do with this one, okay, because physical address usually we use it inside the network, okay, inside the local area network, so we have nothing to do with this one. And usually we have nothing to do with the application data itself. For example, now you use Adobe, okay, and the information for the Adobe is not important for the firewall. Okay, so when these are not important, something which is important for us on the internet, it's the protocol of the transport layer or host to host layer, and source port and destination port, and source IP address and destination IP address. So I will go again. I delete this one, I delete this one, I delete this one, and then this one, and here to make it clear. So when you want to work, for example, consider that this is the server, okay, which is Google, okay, and this is Google is web server. Okay, and what is the port for web server of the Google? What is the port? For web, 8080 or 80. Also 8080 can use. Okay, so this is the Google, for example, this is web server, and this is the port. And consider that IP for the Google is 88, for example, 88. So this is the IP. So this is the IP address, and then now you have everything about the Google. When Chrome wants to work or wants to send, for example, from your computer, and the Chrome wants to send information to the Google, and you want to communicate with Google, the web server on this system. Okay, this is the web service. Okay, when you want to communicate with the web service on this system, something that happens is that the rule is, or the log is like this. The source is 1219, okay, 168.0.10, and the source port is 1 2 3, and the destination is 8 8 8 8, and the destination port is 80, and the protocol is TCP. Okay, so this is the whole packet that we want to talk about. Everything. Okay, so it says that the source is here. This is the source IP, and here is the source port, and here is the destination IP, and this is the destination port, and this is the protocol. Source IP address, source port, destination IP address, destination port, and this is the protocol for sending information from this computer, for example, to Google. These are the information that we process, and we decide on the, for example, rules of the firewall. So what you want to do about this? Okay, for example, for this one you can say, now this is the log. Let me write it. This is the log for one packet. Okay, this is the log for one packet that goes from your computer, for example, to web service on the internet, or that something that you receive in return. Let me show you something. CMD, for example, netstat. If I use netstat, let me see if I can show you the log of my system. Yes, exactly, Hossein. It's possible to accept all and reject all applications. So this one. So this is the log for my system. You see it goes like that, and if again I use it, you see these are the, it shows the protocol. The first line is protocol of my system. Okay. Yes, Ali, we will discuss it later. Okay, so the first line is the protocol. The second line is the source IP and source port, and the second part, if you look at the you know, down the screen, you look at the IP addresses, for example, 10 10 34 35. These are the local addresses, and the protocol is HTTPS. The port of the destination is HTTPS. The port of the source is 51739. Okay, for when we talk together. Okay, the last line from 192.168.152, the port 51740. We send the packet to 10.10.34.35. HTTPS is the destination port, and then the protocol is TCP, and then the flag is sent. Okay, something like that. So this is the network log. You always have something like this on the network which is going on. Then you will decide what to do with these packets when you put firewall on the way. For example, if you put firewall on my computer, you can decide what to do with these packets. You can, on firewall, you can even permit the packets, or you can even deny the packet or reject the packets. Okay, something like that. You can use this packet. Okay, let me go back to the screen. Okay, we were discussing the firewall. We put the firewall on the way between the network and the computers, and then we start writing rules. As Ali said, we can accept all, or we can reject all, or we can use different rules for different computers. I will just put some examples here. I will give you a brief information, and then in the next class we will have a full example how to write the rules and the firewall. So let me go back to slide 60. So this is the computer. Okay, and these are the application, and this is the internet. So I will remove the other side of the network, so I have enough space to write them. And this is IP. I can interface. Okay, or we call it MAC. TCP, and this is application, and this is Mac. So you see, something that we write when we want to define the rules, we say, for example, look at the computer. You just look at the computer. The first thing is that from, for example, your computer is 190.168.10 and then 010. Okay, and the source port is 555 to the, for example, a WhatsApp server, WhatsApp IP. Okay, port, it's, I can write any because it's random. Okay, into WhatsApp port. Okay, and then you can say WhatsApp uses TCP, and then we say hello. Okay, something like that. So from 190.168.010 to any port because it's random. Okay, this is one rule. To WhatsApp IP, because this one I didn't know what is WhatsApp IP address and what is port, but here, okay, I knew it's 48 and then 80. So WhatsApp port TCP allow. You permit, allow or permit is same thing. Okay, allow is equal to permit. Okay, deny is equal to reject. They are same thing. Okay, if I used any of them, they are same thing. Okay, so we allow this traffic. The second one is for Telegram. Okay, for example, we want to filter Telegram. We can say again from 190, because it's client, it's random, any port can be used. 168 and then 0 and then 10. Okay, something like this. Again, because it's client and it can use any port, any. Okay, we just, when we send the information, Telegram network address and Telegram port. Okay, and then we say TCP, and for example say deny. Okay, so something like this. Again, because I didn't know what is Telegram server's port and what is Telegram IP address, I wrote like this, but you can easily find them on the internet. Okay, so the next one is that another rule. For example, I say from 190.168 and then 010. Okay, again the client for example Chrome, it's any port, because the port for the client is random. Okay, when you want to send the information to any addresses on the internet and the port 80, any address on the internet with the port 80 for TCP deny. Okay, what does this rule mean? If you put it on the network or if you put it on your computer, what will happen? The last one, can you tell me what happens if you write this one, this one? Anyone can tell? No, it has nothing to do with Google. What else? And not all apps. What is that we are blocking? What are we doing with this rule? Okay, what does that mean? Yes, Ali, but what does that mean? Yes, exactly, Mary, thank you. So you see, you don't have web. Okay, you don't have web. No web works on your network, but everything else is fine. Okay, we block web or we block web traffic, but everything else, for example, you can check Telegram, you can work with Wi-Fi or whatever, sorry, WhatsApp, or you can do whatever you want, but you cannot open websites, any websites on the internet. Okay, you cannot work with the internet. But I can write another rule. For example, I said from 190 and then 168 0 again 010 to any port. Okay, and then for example to google.com. okay, and then any protocol, and then any port in TCP UDP deny. Okay, yes, exactly, all apps work, Hossein, but web doesn't work. Okay, so look at this rule. This is another way. Okay, this is another example. You see, we say from this computer, okay, to, I should just put this in. Any application, okay, can do anything on the internet, but only we cannot access You just write it. I will also write to see which one is similar. No, only the last rule. What does the last rule mean? What does the last rule mean? Just talk about last rule. I ask, what does the last rule mean? This one. What does it mean? It means that you have everything and you can work with the internet and you can open a WhatsApp or whatever it is, only no Google. Okay, this rule means no Google. This rule means no web. Okay, you can have everything, no web. This rules mean no Telegram. This rule means, for example, because this is allow, this rule means that you allow the WhatsApp. Okay, and then when you allow those things that they are supposed to be allowed, you can use this rule always. Any to any TCP UDP What does the last one mean? This rule. Okay, what does that mean? Means that no internet. It means that no internet. You just disconnect the internet for everything and anything that comes from any place to any source, or from it comes from any source to any destination. So any TCP UDP deny. We will work on these rules, okay, in the next session. Will work more on these rules, but it's better that you practice and to learn and understand the meaning of the rules and the source ports and the destination ports and whatever it is. Okay, so it's better for you to just practice and try to learn about the ports. Okay, practice and learn about the ports and the concept of the client and the concept of the server and the port number, TCP and UDP IP addresses. You just try to review it in your mind, and then we will continue this one on the next lecture. Inshallah, next week we will continue, and we will have one big example which includes segmentation. We will define the network, we segment the network, we define the firewall rules, and then everything will be included in one example. Okay, thank you very much. I just write up to where we already discussed, and we'll stop there. It's a slide 27 up to 27. In next week we should have one big example on the ports and the design of the network, inshallah. Okay, this was it. If you have any question, you can ask. If no, the class already finished. And thank you very much. In Farsi we say التماس دعا. Okay, التماس دعاء رمضان, and thank you very much and take care inshallah.